Hello class, I hope you're enjoying your Friday. Right now I want to do a little video for you talking about 7.10 and just extra work with subtracting negative numbers or subtracting any kind of numbers really. We're going to really look at 7.10 study length though, because I know I assigned that for homework for you this weekend. Let's look at the first problem. The first problem is just asking us to do greater than, least than, or equal to. So stuff that you really haven't had problems with in the past. So we'll go over it, we'll review it just in case if there are some confusion, we can clear that up. -8 should always be less than a positive. That just makes sense. 5 is greater than -8. -8 is less than 5. That should be fine. Number 2 here, we have -3 should be greater than -10. The closer you are to 0 when you're dealing with negative numbers, the larger that number becomes compared to other negative numbers. So -10 would be further on a number line to the left than -3, which would only be a few spaces beyond 0. -3 would be larger in this case. Again, we have a positive and negative. The positive number should come out on top. You should have 10 is greater than -20. 4, same situation. 12 is larger than a positive is larger than a negative number. In this case, we have a -3/4, -1. This -3/4, because -3/4 is closer to 0 than -1 is. Like I said, when dealing with negative numbers, the closer you are to 0, the larger you are compared to other negative numbers. So -3/4 in this case would be larger than -1. And lastly, 3 to the second is 9. 9 is larger than 6. So that's what you have at the top. That should be some nice review for you before kind of getting your mind ready while you move on to this adding and subtracting. At the bottom here we have -20 plus 15. So I like to think of it as owing money. I don't know how you like to think of it. Whatever way works best for you. But I look at it as I owe you 20. I'm -20 in the hole. I give you 15. I still owe you money, but now I only owe you 5. That negative sign meaning I owe you 5. -20, if you're in a number line, you're at -20. You go 15, a positive number, so that means you're going to the right. You go 15 spaces to the right, that would bring you to -5. If you're looking at it like a number line, if that's what helps you. Another one, I have -14 plus -7. Same situation. I owe you 14. Now I owe you another 7, so I owe you more. So I would owe you, in this case, 21. Everyone should see how that works. We're not going to the right. Just because it's an addition doesn't mean you go to the right in the number line. You have two negative numbers, you're adding them. That means you're still going further away from 0. You're still going further to the left. -21 would be the correct answer in this problem. For number 9, we have -8 plus 12. And I'm going to look at this like a number line. I'm on the -8. If I move 12 spaces to the right, that's going to give me an answer of +4. I have a negative number. I make a dot in that number line, -8. I move 12 spaces to the right because it's a positive number. Brings me to a +4. 3 plus -9. I have a 3 plus a -9. Well, I'm at the number line. I'm on a 3. I move 9 spaces to the left, so I'll be going into negative numbers. That's going to give me an answer of -6. Now we have some leave, add, change problems. I have -4 minus 7. So if I'm going to rewrite that, I have -4 minus 7. Leave the -4. Subtraction turns into a positive. I have a +7 here. I want to turn that into a negative. So I have -4 plus -7. So I know I'm going further in the hole. At -4, I'm going to the left 7 spaces because it's a negative number, which would give me an answer of -11. Same thing, we have another negative, -10 minus 16. Do the same thing. I'm going to erase this for us. We got -10 minus 16. -10 minus 16, keep the -10. Turn this to an addition problem. Turn +16 into a -16. That gives us, so I'm at -10, I'm going 16 spaces to the left again because I have a negative number, which would give me a -26. So we'll get on that line, -26. Just doing leave, add, change. Whenever we see we're subtracting or subtracting a, if we're subtracting a smaller number, a larger number from a smaller number, or we're subtracting these negatives, you can use this rule. It really applies to anything, but you have to make sure you do it right. For this, let's say for this next one. The next one's a perfect example. We have 5 minus negative 11. We have 5 minus a negative 11. So in this problem, we had negative 10 minus 16. We had a positive 16. Now we have a negative 11. So now we have to make sure that we're doing this correctly. We had 5 minus negative 11. Let's do our leave, add, change rules. 5 stays, we leave it. The minus subtraction sign turns into an add. Our negative 11, we're changing a negative 11 into a positive 11. Well, now I just have 11 plus 5. 11 plus 5 gives me an answer of 16. Go back and we'll write 16 on the line. Let's do the last one on this page. We're 14. We're 14 of 8 minus 12. Go to our work page here so we can work this out. We have 8 minus 12. First thing I'll do, leave. 8 stays the same. Subtraction sign turns to an addition sign. A positive 12 turns into a negative 12. I have 8 on the number line. I'm going to the left 12 spaces because I have a negative 12, so I have to go to the left. 12 spaces to the left from 8 will give me an answer of negative 4. I said you can do all these problems. None of them are hard when you remember when that leave, add, change. And we had extra practice with today, so hopefully it's clicking a little better. But when you're doing that leave, add, change, everything becomes so much easier. We got to remember those steps. Let's look at the next page. Okay, and this one says some of the following sentences are true because they follow the rules for the order of operations. Some of the sentences are false. Make a check mark next to the true number sentences. Insert parentheses in the false sentences to make them true. So we have to just look at the order of operations, practice again. Remember PEMDAS. Please excuse my DO. I'll even write that in the middle right here while we're working. PEMDAS. So we remember our order of operations. It's important. So the first problem, we have 3 plus 7 times 5. I'm doing the order of operations. I'm going to do the multiplication first. 7 times 5 is 35 plus 30 equals 38. So put a check mark next to that one. That one looks good. Over to the next one, 16. And this one I would do the division first. Division becomes a 4 addition in my order. 20 divided by 5 is 4. Negative 5 plus 4 equals negative 1. I know that. Negative 5, I owe you $5. I give you 4. I still owe you 1. So this sentence is true as well, following the order of operations. So we get a check mark there. 17. We have 3 times, we have to do order of operations first. We have 3 times 4 equals 12. Negative 2 plus 12 would give me a positive 10. I owe you 2. I give you 2 of those dollars. I have $10 left over. Negative 2. Or I'm on the number line negative 2. I move over 12 spaces. So this isn't correct. So we have to we have to put parentheses in this one to make this one true. Well, I'm looking at it. Let's see if I put parentheses around negative 2 and negative 3. Well, let's do that first. Now parentheses comes first. Parentheses comes before multiplication. So I'll do the parentheses first this time. Negative 2 plus 3. I'm on a number line. I'm at negative 2. I move 3 spaces to the right because it's positive. I'll give you an answer of positive 1. Well, 1 times 4 equals 4. Now put in parentheses around the negative 2 plus 3 made that true. So let's look at the next one. We have negative 2 plus 3 times 4. Again, we have to do the multiplication first, order of operations. That is 12. Negative 2 plus positive 12. So moving 12 spaces to the right will give me an answer of 10. So you can put a check mark next to this one. That one looks good. Let's do the last two. Last one we have negative 3 plus 5 times 2 minus negative 6. Well, I'm looking at this problem at the multiply first. So I have 5 times 2, 10. Now I can go in order. Negative 3 plus 10. Negative 3 plus 10 is positive 7. 7 minus negative 6. If I would leave the 7, turn this into addition, change this -6. That's 7 plus 6. That would give me an answer of 13. So this one is obviously not correct. We have to go back and put parentheses somewhere in this problem. Well, if I look at this, look at my options, I think I want to put parentheses around this one. Let's try this out. Just double parentheses that. Let's do that in the whatever's in the parentheses first. Leave the 2. Subtraction turns to a positive. Change the -6 to a +6. So now we have 2 plus 6 gives me 8. Now we can multiply. 5 times 8 equals 40. So now we have -3 plus 40. -3 plus 40. If I have -3 in this number line, that would move 40 spaces to the right. That would give me an answer of 37. If I just took this -3 off of the 40 there, that would give me an answer of 37 as well. So putting parentheses around the, well, I'll rewrite it here, but putting parentheses around 2 and -6 is going to make this true. And let's look at this last number problem, then we'll look at 21. For number 20, it has 4 squared plus -3 minus -5 times 2. Well, exponents comes first. So 4 times 2 is 16. And then we have over here, we have -5 times 2. We have to do that first. This is multiplication. That's going to give me a +10. -5 times -5 is 10, +10. So now I do plus -3 minus that +10. 16 plus -3 gives me 13. I'm at 16. I'm moving 3 spaces to the left because it's a negative number. 13 minus 10 is 3. So this one does not work because their answer is 20. So we're going to put parentheses somewhere to make this true. Well, looking at the problem, I want to put parentheses around the negatives just to see how it works. If I do that first, so I do -3 minus -5. What do I do? I keep the -3. The -3 stays the same. Subtraction turns into addition. I change the -5 to a +5. So that would leave me with, in the parentheses, -3 plus 5. I'm at -3. If I move 5 spaces to the right, that's going to give me an answer of +2. So now I have 16 plus, we determined what was in the parentheses was 2. 16 plus 2 gives me an answer of, well, actually, correction. Sorry about that. We're following order of operations here. Now we can do this 2 times this 2 over here gives me 4. So I do this first, obviously. But now we do the multiplication to the exponents. We have 2 times this 2 gives me a 4. So if we combine that, we have 16 plus 4 gives me an answer of 20. Following that order of operations, we turn that exponents into a number. And then we do the multiplication comes next. 2 times 2 equals 4. 16 plus 4 will give us an answer of 20. So this is where your parentheses should be for this problem. Let's look at 21. Julie arrived 20 minutes before the race began. She started right on time. It took her 24 minutes to finish the 6-kilometer race, and she stayed 10 minutes after the race to cool off. Then she left. If she arrived at the race at 9:10, what time was it when she left? Well, this one, just don't overthink this problem. Take our variables. She came 20 minutes. We're going to add these together. It took her 24 minutes to run it. She stayed 10 minutes to cool off. Just add those. So for this problem, we have 0, 4. We have 4. 2 plus 2 is 4. Plus 1 is 54. So she's there for 54 minutes. Now I take 9:10 plus 54. Well, I know 9:10 plus 50 minutes will give me 10 o'clock. There's 4 leftover minutes. So that would mean it's 10:04. So what time was it when she left? She left at 10:04 a.m. Explain how you found your answer? Well, that would be good enough for me. You added up the minutes, you get 54 minutes, you add it on to 9:10. That's how you figure out the problem. I hope you're having a great weekend. I hope you're staying warm, and I hope you're excited to come back to class on Monday. I will see you in class on Monday.